Sangye Trinley Maraba Melai Cheje Gambo Tuzai Jaya Penge Garamaya Ba Cheje Chunye Yaya Ba Zenam Dam Cheda Sasoya Pade Jopayaso Sablai Jaya Chelai Manyebe Nyame Rungoya Taya Boya Gayala Soya Devzoya Paigala Manam Gaya Banzenoya Nam Daraya Yelo Yelo Yangomye Kayam Barazombaijin Sena Gulaya Shaye Me Bayada Tendaya Chebe Monjela Nyengore Me Barai Jinkelo Mengoya Gongye Goya Zombaijin Mengade Goya Chebe Lamayala Jondo Zoyawai Bebe Omjela Cheme Mengoye Kewarai Shenkelo Yeme Gomye Meshera Sombaishin Kanshara Doebe Moyo Somaide Majuyende Garayam Joya Bengomjela Gomza Loedaya Dhavaraya Jinkelo Nam Doya Moya Voya Shuguraya Sombaijin Cheya Maya Cheya Charavaya Maya Gaya Rola Charabe Omjela Hora de Yeme Toya Bara ye sa da ya lam ye yen de ram zo ne do ra je chan ye ko ya ba nya ra do yo do ra je chan ye ko ya ba nya ra do yo.
Nanda duru durge zaje de bamere lenge bede chero ninde jege nangwe chero ninde nangwe jege de dujo de ndolo jode chero gundo zeje danyele dage dome jage yongdonde chancho nimbe lamge karma mo mije de beje dondo Ome jege yinge bolondo de do zanje ginge on Ransem jigurong zo dende bo do la me jala guja do do lo no jela le je ginge jada ne xin da zere dam je do nong go le jang jege do jin me je baro jo joro semjen thamji 전도 쪽에서 상마라 다시 델렉슈야당 찹직도 semjen thamji 전도 쪽에 상지 고반 도고지 디체도 최년이 냠베 담바자자와 장조 생기건로 온다 당내 새로 지셔야.
Trashidele, everyone. Please listen the Dharma with the vast motivation of bodhicitta, thinking that I would like to achieve the perfect Buddhahood in order to benefit all sentient beings.
Tene dadere che shege leremdi to zanglen nane da liu guba tayi medogi liu sen ila lebare. Tene de da khasang gashi gongzo zane da khasang ge chene ma shina. Q de chi cher kene sangje gang na wa der song de chin ba dang sangje gi gu sangje gi gu dok dang pe che sang bo pe me ba thong ne rab do ga wa ke de dinyam do samo da samo da dene Q de 제네 제네 미야 라이메도 세탁 당내다 큐데 야 체로 송어당 체르게네 된 상제 강나와 송 침바당세 상제 쇼사델라 다 큐데 친네 되네 침바레 상제 제르와 침바레 상제게 제르와당 되네 상제게 구독 sergi doktabu zezene bemesebi seba nang peje songbo pemeba 통내 다 대가 통만용 외기드네 입당 가독 songbo 상지기 구장 선배에도 통내 제일내 랍도 가와 깨데 대냠도 빼고 선박가네 되네 고가래 선발에서나 대냠도 다 직된 대를 깨장 박비 또당 책임 상제당 박비 개롱기 겐든 젠정어 냠 삼내 상제라 되게 지설도 마 직된기 감 되나 깨발해데 이나야 나라데네 고급 상보 상제기 상제당 저좀 겐든 박비 겐든 대다고 제야 여박이 고급 상보 톱도 삼는 거랑 배 셈바 가와래 파우도 책이 상제당 박배 겐든 박배 gelongi gendun jen rangwa nyam samne sangje la digi je solo. Tene korang da sangje dang korul pakbe gendun dang cheba korang ginang la dendren shugu du samne tene sangje la dendren se shuba yin sen tene jiwa.
To continue on the Sutra of Wise and Foolish, where we have left off last time, we are on the 9th chapter, which is called the chapter of a boy called the flower of God. And we started already that chapter a little bit, and I'm going to continue from where we have left off that last time. The sutra says, later, when the boy, the flower of God, grew up, he went where the Buddha was present. And seeing the Buddha's physical color, which was golden color, and also seeing the minor and major marks, which are incomparable and unexampled, beyond any metaphors or beyond any simile, he was extremely happy and he thought that I have been born in this world where I met the chief Arya. So he had never seen such things that Buddha possess, which we call the minor and major marks. And also the physical color of the Buddha was kind of golden color. So he was very happy. And also he thought that I have been born in this world where I met the chief Arya, which is the Buddha. And now I'm going to invite Buddha together with his Sangha. And then he said to the Buddha, the Sangha, Buddha was with the Sangha of Bhikshu at that time, mainly the Bhikshu Sangha. So he said, I'm going to invite Buddha together with his Arya Bhikshu Sangha. And then he said to the Buddha,
네, 더 지된들이 섬네 상제 등 박백인된 전정원 양섬네 상제를 되게 sol도 되네 상제를 주면 좀된데 박백인된 등 제대 상기 두글라 더기 치정도 수념 nembashi jargi 되네 상제 기군들라 잔나 가래슈 버르잖아 다 상이 상제 등 박백인된 코르당 제바 되네 게 낭도 되네 수념 시가라 되네 배로지 게 수념 되네 탭자직 되네 표기 세네다 슈버는 수념께 별에도 시작바리 진낭 셰솔바당 다 수념 야구 표에도 요 말에 옛날에 가서 되네 수념께 초사하게 치도 되네 상제 코르긴든 박백인는 제바 폐기인배 세다 폐수바는 셰솔바당 대삼바 닥바를 겠네 되네 상제기다 코배 상제당 코를 박백이되는 대바 배미스바 겠네 삼바 넘버 잡바 깨바디 상제기 겠네 식소 낭오 되네 폐약이 시기 셰셰낭바래 폐기 되네 라이메독 7 김동 마당 친인 상제당 겐된 남장 디 김도 식소 되네 라이메독 디 김도 레네데 성이 되네 상제당 코로 박베 겐된 남장 되네 세르게 메독이 디 김도 되네 나올라 페바레 식소 타이 메도게장 강상기 낭도 림보체 된 망보 뚫레 쟁기 젬발레장 쟁기 젬발레 되네 타이 메도데기 다 과란기 강백이 노 림보체기 된 망보 뚫레 되네 강바 젠자 망보 뚫레 되네 베 젠자 성보 땅에 되네 저릭 제발에 상제당 겐된 남 된 델라 림기 슈수설네 되네 상제동 파비게 된 데서 다 고림미실도 되네 된라 슈수설네 사이 매독이 셀세 넘버 나서 그바라 삼바당 되네 나라이 매독입니다 셀세 셀라 나다 넘버 나서 받더니 풀고고도 삼바당 디스남기 삼바신도 조르데 된 삼기 코랑 다 셰세 야보 망보 다 표고도 삼바당 삼바삼기 되는 코랑 랑신기 중원 레선다 벤저제 마고 뭐 되는 랑신기 중 삼바당 대선은 삼바신도 저르데 상제당 겐데 남라 선념기 저와 제소 되는 거랑 저바 따르도 되는 상제당 파비게 된데서라 제 영어실라 표와래 선생님
So this, the young boy, the flower of God, went to see Buddha, where Buddha was dwelling at that time, and seeing Buddha's wonderful minor and major marks, he was very pleased, and he thought I should invite them. So he said to the Buddha, as an offering to the Bhagavan and to Arya Sanghas, I will prepare a simple lunch tomorrow in my humble residence. Please come to accept my offering. So when he said that to Buddha, by understanding the pure motivation of the boy, the flower of God, the Bhagavan accepted the invitation. So Bhagavan is Buddha, right? So I'm using again, I have been saying this many times, maybe if there is some new listener, I should say one more time. I'm using Bhagavan instead of Buddha because in Tibetan we say Chomden De, which is Buddha himself. So Chomden De, the Sanskrit for Chomden De is Bhagavan. If we say Sangye, that's Buddha. That's why I'm saying Bhagavan and Bhagavan again. So Bhagavan means the Buddha himself, Buddha Shakyamuni. So, by understanding the pure motivation of the boy, the Bhagavan accepted the invitation. Then the boy, flower of God, returned home, and next day, the Buddha together with Sangha came to his home. So, flower of God miraculously manifested a celestial palace with many seats made of precious jewels, which were adorned with beautiful ornaments. And he requested Buddha and the Sangha to take seat one after another according to their seniority. When they were seated, the boy, flower of God, thought, I need various food to offer them. And this boy is full of merit that he accumulated in his previous life. So because of the merit, with the power of the merit that he has, as soon as he thought of making some good various food to offer, the food just appeared by themselves without doing anything. So because of his merit, he got various food just as he wanted, and he offered all this delicious food to the Buddha and Sangha.
홍세 랑데 라이 매독 라이 매독 라 최몽보 제발 때네 라이 매독이 김건기 미군기 진도쇼기 대보토발 줄도 보셈. 전에 다 펜제 홍세 랑데스 홍세 셰라셰선의 홍세 장마수네 야 표처럼 임바다. 전에 야 상식이 야 셰네 대살와당 전에 사이 매독라 전에 상식이 최송발에 최망보 제발 때네 타이 메도기 김강기 미군기 다타이 메도기 디 김낭 강배낭 유비 미 탐지기 되네 상제기 셀네 최대 처벌하잖아요. 되네 준수기 되고 미 탐지기 준수기 되고 도성 도벌이 줄도 되네 타이 메도기 판말라 랍도 중심 상제기 년내수 지월 솔바정 되네 라이 메도데기 파말라 코 랍도 중게인 랍도 중네 상제기 되네 샤브지 년내 제게인 세네 파말라 나와 슈바레 그래서 파매장 대신도 낭네 키우데 상제 강나와 데르송데 침바당 되네 파마기양 코랑기 되바더도 되네 나와 제바레 다 나와 톱네 되네 그 상제 슈설로 침바레 상제 가바슈에 되라 침바레 상제기 시합로 그 차철네 상제기 템발로 럽도 중거를 솔도즈 된 상제 요설로 랩네 상제로 차철네 되네 상제다 그 상제기 템발로 되네 럽도 중게인 잡아제게인 세네다 상제로 쇼어버리 점된되게 장 개론 레바로 홍소 셰 까전네 짜장 가보랑 지지 문미 전바 줄네 상제기 까신도 낸된 제베 더좀바 줄도 되네 상제기 코 럽도 중에서 슈버 잠기 상제 점된되게 개론 레바로 홍소 세네 송바리 대 송바 잠기 송바장 대마사도 랑신게 되는 그 가장 잡부 탐제 파지 되네 류라 최근 남섬 다 응어믹 다 최근 응어믹 랑신게 되네 거랑기 두글로지 최근 고미도 줄네 상제기 가신도 낸된 제베 되네 상제기 될라 최송바 최송바들라 낸된 준비침바 제베 되네 고 대좀바 토송 그래서 대좀 말해줬어.
When these delicious various food were offered to the Buddha and his Sangha of bhikshus, after accepting the offering, an extensive dharma was taught to the boy, flower of God. So the Buddha, after the meal was done, the lunch was done, Buddha taught many extensive dharma to the boy who was called the flower of God. And because of that teaching, everyone who were present in that house at that time, actually it says the house was full of people. All of them attained the state of entering stream. So this is the first result, entering the stream, first result of the Shavagana path. And then after everyone who were present in the house of this young boy at that time attained the entering the stream, then the boy, the flower of God, requested his parents for their permission to become an ordained and attendant of Buddha. Likewise, the parents also granted their kind permission. So now the boy can become an ordained monk and also a follower of Buddha as he wanted. Then the boy, flower of God, requested to his parents for their permission to be ordained and be a follower of Buddha. Likewise, the parents granted their permission, and the young boy, after he received the permission of their parents, his parents, then he went to see Buddha again at the place where Buddha was dwelling at that time. And when he reached to the place where Buddha was staying, and he prostrated to the feet of Buddha and he requested Buddha to be accept him as a follower of him and to be to make him ordained one. He prostrated to the feet of the Buddha and requested to accept him as a monk in the teachings of Buddha. So after Buddha was requested by this young boy, the flower of God, and when Buddha, the Bhagavan said, you can perfectly be a bhikshu. As soon as Buddha said that, the hair and the mustache of the boy fell away naturally by themselves, and he was well dressed in saffron color robes. Then he was very diligent in his practice, as he was guided by Buddha, taught by Buddha. Then not long ago he became an arhat. So,
Tene kun gawe dedar jirba tongne sita shele kan nang la tene den de me chenja de lai gi konso rimbochi la so ge tene samgi me jwa tulya dang tene shese la so ba rang sing gi chungwa dang korang da jomba to ba dedar jirba tongne Sangye gang nawa dera songde, den kungaw de sangye yusala pa songne, pyumo sala tsukne, chomden de la digeje soldo, den sangye la kareshu barisana. Gelong laye medok di, sunam jishi gina, laye medok rang babjin, rinpoche, dendang shese naso yishindo tulba, chomden dege dendo sol sem. Lai metok di tene konso shela dang ten deso tene korangi sambadar do tul toba dang tene ko che toba sangje ki che toba zangi dajomba toba tene ko 개왕의 막 선남기 촉 가래상네 되네 중발에 예세네 상제 디 선남기 주디 다코 선남기 촉사비 주디 송로치 세네 주거 점된데기 근거로 가절바 되네 상제 근거로 좀 퇴바로 되나 레바로 년지 다 저랑 년대에나 리어부지 년로지 는 대베드나 상제 서투 제조와 지진도 시행돼 샘징이 된 제바로 제도 자 나가모 아마전에 상제 서투 세겐지 되네 지진이 감될 페네 되네 샘징이 된 저첨부 제기요 제신배 갑질라 대체나 견준 몽보 종 주신 색발레 김덕 릭 체신 토와다기 최바 제소 대갑라 상제 서투 고장 제바 되네 종케르 되네 수님로 되네 페베기 갑라 김덕 릭 체신 릭 토와당 jorba 첨보 지속에 되네 상제정 코를 파괴하게 된데도라 최바백이 수념기 최바백이요래 그래서 최바제도 대세나 미 울보시 롱제지양 미독베 견준데도라 랍도 가위 셈케데 다기니 지장 최도 매도 냠네 빵당 뉴생이마다 뉴생레 매독 넘버 나초 규제 견준로 돌네 삼바다베 착다를 제제 송어 셈 데네 김덕 릭토와당 제르바젠데도 쳐바 피디 디가블라데네 울부 데네 노르롱제 강야메베기 울부지기요 바리 콜라 상제당 견준데도 쳐바 피야 메바인장 견준 대절로 랍도가위 셈케데 이나야 상제동 견준 대절로 대비기 셈 랍도케네 다기니 지양 최도 매도 냠네 당할 최바비에 신다 강야민도 삼네 되네 빵라 송네 다 방레 매독 남바나 쪽바 튜네 되네데 에겐전 상제지 소리 줄려봐 되네 쳐봐부 떠르네 바레 에스네 차다르제데 송어 점된데기 근거올라 까절바 다 까절바 대세 대düna 미울보 메독이 떨어와 되네 개롱의 메독이노 대갑라 미울보 되네 저바 메바디기 빵네 메독만 못투네 되네 상제 고르단 제발라 torne chobabu debigi semgi chobabu di mi ulbodi tanda gelonglai mezokti listen song dedara debi dün
Then, witnessing what just had happened, Ananda, so by Ananda saw everything what happened at that time, how this the young boy, the flower of God, miraculously manifested the celestial palace, and all the food just appear as he wished, and eventually all the people attend the state of the entering the stream, and after that the boy become a monk, and it didn't take too long for him to become an arhat. So witnessing all of this, Ananda was very surprised, and then Ananda went there where Buddha was dwelling and asked the Buddha, kneeling his knee down to the ground. So Ananda, that was a very respect way of asking. He kneeled down on his knee on the ground. Then he asked Buddha about this boy, and he said to the Buddha, Bhagavan, please show us what kind of merit this bhikshu, the flower of God, performed in the past, that the celestial flower poured down by itself when he was born, and he miraculously manifested precious seeds and also various fruits just as he wished for. So Buddha was asked the reason why this is happening to this boy by Ananda, and Buddha answered to Ananda in this way. The Bhagavan answered to Ananda, listen well if you want to hear. In the past, a Buddha named Kanaka Muni. So, I think many people also using the book, which is already available in English. I'm not using that is because that was translated from the Mongolian version. So sometimes a little bit different here and there. For example, here in that book, it was very clearly says Buddha Karshaba, but in Tibetan it says Sertup. So Sertup is not Karshaba. Sertup is Kanaka Buddha. Kanaka Muni, we say Kanaka Muni. Sangye Sertup, Sangye is Buddha, and then Sertup is Kanaka Muni. So if it is Karshaba, then it should be Wesung in Tibetan. So it's very clear in Tibetan. So I'm clarifying here because maybe if you are reading that book, maybe you thought I made mistake. So this is different version, okay? So Buddha said to the Ananda, he said, listen well. If you want to hear, in the past, a Buddha named Kanaka Muni came to the world, and he performed a vast activities for the benefit of sentient beings. During that time, many Sangha were wandering in the villages for alms. So I think Buddha Kanaka Muni was also going village to village for the alms with his Sangha. And then when this Sangha of Buddha Kanaka Muni were going for the alms, then all the householder of high caste and rich people made lots of offering to them. At that time, there was a poor man who had nothing to offer, but somehow a joyous mind was born into him by seeing the Sangha of this Buddha Kanaka Muni. And since he didn't have anything to offer, but he was very devoted, he became very devoted, a very joyful mind was born in him. So he, by thinking, I have nothing to offer, the poor man picked many flowers, various flowers from meadowland and lawn nearby, and he threw this flower to the Sangha. And after doing this, he cleaned the ground area there with the pure motivation, and the poor man left the Sangha because he didn't have anything else to offer. He just picked up some flower from the meadowland, and then he just scattered to the Sangha. Then he also cleaned the ground and he left. And then Shakyamuni Buddha still continued his conversation with Ananda about this boy, the flower of God. The Bhagavan told to Ananda again the sutta. At that time, during that time, I repeat this word. In Tibetan is also same. That's why I just try to be as close as Tibetan. Tibetan, if you read Tibetan, it says "Te se te duna," which means actually almost the same thing. At that time, at that period, or something like that. So I just put at that time, during that time. The poor man who threw flowers was this bhikshu, flower of God. So actually, during the Buddha Kanaka Muni time, a poor man who picked up flower from meadowland and threw to the Sangha is the previous life of this particular bhikshu, who is called now the flower of God. And because in this way, in the past, picking up the flower with pure mind of faith and made aspiration after throwing the flower to the Sangha. For 91, here this is also different again. In that book it says 60 something, but in Tibetan very clearly says 91 aeons. Kalpa Gupju Kochik. So this is also again, if you are reading that book, this is just different. I think both are correct. I cannot say which is wrong, which is right. So I should say both are correct, but they are not same, okay? Because that is translated from the Mongolian version, and I'm talking from the Tibetan version. So in Tibetan it says, very clearly it says 91 aeons. In that book it says 16 aeons. Okay, so anyway, for 91 aeons, no matter where he was born, this boy, his physical body has always been spectacularly good, handsome, and calmly, and he got whatever he wished for, such as food, beverage, and seats. By that merit, okay, I'm done here. Lasso.
Dedar debe duna samba tabe debe medok dule gendrin la torne malan tabe telba kuchu tsaji ge bar kanto ke chan chezo leshin sangwa tang tanna dukba tang jidar samba shindo sawam tungwam chiden la sokba yeshindo jorjin dende seta sam kola samba sangbe medok philba ge de debo dege tene kanto ke chan sene 다종 속체와 따나소바 동암 티젠라소바 예신도 저진 고란게 되바가래 여바 대나신 되네 배점하고 바랑신이 중대요래 선남 디티비 버도 토벌줄도 선남 디티비 단다 버도 토벌줄도 세임바 버도
Devu Parthasakti, Dajamba Parthastam Saravaji. Tartuk Dajam Topsala. Devu Parthas, Devuti, Devu Shinan Dajamba.
Devu Dajamba Tobegi Bardu
Tin Sare. Tama the Dajam Topsala.
Devena Kingao 땜진 탐지기 장 진바 충문라 순나 매도 냠도 마녀시 오 대인데는 다 셈진 탐지요 계획자와 총총지글라 대다 총총지글에 삼네 되는 예제진의 유마샤 총총 계획자와 총총지기네요 강투 지속진의 두고래 그래서 이 마녀시 의 매독다를 지양 조정 두고를 주로 계획자와 총총지기나요 3번 넘버 당나 되는 의 매독다부 되는 강당 있나요 배점하고 봐 저거 줍투겐직 중개요래 그래서요 대내 근거당 코르 망보남 좀된 얘기 송발라 예랑네 말고 좀된 얘기 송라 말고네 제대는 다가 건도 창만 전에 셈고 도발에 했어요. 타이 미적의 리우제 구바오 다디 리우 구바디 두반
Because in this way, in the past, picking up the flowers with pure mind of faith and mad aspiration after throwing them to the Sangha, so just because of making an offering of flower in that way to the Sangha of the Buddha Kanaka Muni in the past, and this particular boy, who is called now the flower of God, no matter where he was born, for 91 aeons, all his life has been very wonderful with miraculous power and everything, good looking and so forth. And not only that, by that merit, the merit of making offering of the flower, he attained until the result. So what it means, he attained until the result means he attained the he attained the last result according to the Shabakayana, the Arhathood. So that is it probably means, because he already become Arhat now. So and then therefore now Buddha is saying that even a very little tiny merit, we should not belittle them, thinking this is just little bit one. And then Buddha said, therefore, Buddha is still talking with the Ananda about this boy. Therefore, Ananda, no sentient being should belittle or condemn, thinking a little generosity doesn't carry a result. Just like flower of the God, anything could be attained and accomplished. So Buddha said, no matter how tiny it seemed to be, any kind of virtuous action should be admired, and you should never think it is just a tiny virtuous action and will not carry any result, and you should never think in that way. And just like flower of God, anything could be attained and accomplished. Then Ananda and all the other many retinue that were there at that time rejoiced what Buddha taught, and they all become extremely happy. And this is the 9th chapter of the sutra called the Wise and Foolish, and chapter of the Flower of God. So.
다 liu 주바지 양 lai renchengi liu 되게 투바 뒤직나 좀된데 년유나 제보제 세 그 메시지기 근거로 나 쇼소 양 대제 상지 좀된데 되는 년유 제보제기 셀그 메시지기 근거로 나 쇼요 바래 대체나 김덕치기 총마실라 부식제네 케오데 제비체 남칼레 림보체 나든 차르신도 밥데 대킴 용소 강호 양 전에 갑질라 전에 얘기 김성 지글라 전에 대 총말라 부구지 차네 부구지 개발해 부구지 개발당 되는 남칸네 림버지 차를 법네 되는 이 미창기 되는 김 용수 되는 강화래 용수 강화 되는 챙겐 베지 부이 챙된 때나 되는 보고지 다 챙겐 챙 성벌에 냠바래 다 보고지 미첼라 기보 용서를 도보 용서를 디 딱지 당해서를 너님 자 되는 디 베니 딱지 당비 값솔라 되는 챙겐되기 부이 챙 럽도 성어 보고지 다 딱센 배 여부도 딱센 성보 여부도 무슨 챙겐지 딱힌 딱지당인데 레즈라본 셰 김덕러 메네 김덕의 럽도 가디 챙겐기 답보고 chen dao sangbo yabudu salabana kimdak de kane chengen de la boi ming dabaro cholwa dang dene chen dakje dangen de la dene bugu de la ming jik daro chi chen la bare sonam kyu de zebi che de ji jung she di zo da de chen dagen de ge bugu de gebegi kapsola dene 딱선 염선 전기 딱선 마저와 가래 중송 선에 디버래 디버당 김다기장 키우제 제비체에 남칼레 뭐지 차 뭐지 나든 자신도 밤네 김용수 강화를 제소 되네 딱선 마저와다 보고지 깨바당 남칸네 뭐지 차르밤네 되네 가서 김 강바당선 탐지 용수 강월 이제 종송 선에 라바레 스메바당 챙현기 소남레 민딱데 큐디 민 하이렌진 시딱소 전에 챙현데 코란기 소남라 데네 튀네 데네 큐 보고 민데요 데네 하이렌진 선에 민딱바르 토바레
The 9th chapter is completed here. Now the 10th chapter, which is called the chapter of Devaratna, or the preciousness of God. And the chapter began, I have heard that once the Bhagavan was dwelling in the hall of Ananda Pindaka in Jetavana in Saravasti. Okay. And at that time, a son was born. I want to translate directly what it says, even it doesn't make too much sense. A child was born to the wife of her householder. That's what it said in Tibetan. So that's what it said. At that time, a child was born to the wife of a householder. And when the son was born, actually when this son was being born, 7 different jewels or precious poured down like a rain from the sky. And then the house of this householder was filled up with the preciousness of jewel or gems. Then a soothsayer was invited to check the marks of this newly born baby. That is the Indian tradition. And a soothsayer or maybe astrologer, whatever you Tsenken in Tibetan we say Tsenken, which means who can read the marks on your body which symbolize which says what and so forth. So I think soothsayer is better. A soothsayer was invited to check the marks of this newly born baby. And then when this soothsayer checked this newly born baby, he said, the marks on this baby is excellent. And then, and the householder became extremely happy when he heard that the soothsayer was saying the marks on his newly born baby was excellent. And then he requested the soothsayer to give a name to the newborn baby. And then before he gave any name, the soothsayer actually asked the parents of this baby, saying, what was the sign or omen occurred or happened, appear when the boy was born? Then he was answered by the parents. He says, when this boy was born, when this son was born, 7 different kinds of precious poured down from the sky, just like a rain, and our home was filled up with the preciousness. So this was the answer by the parents of this newly born baby to the soothsayer. And then after hearing this, and then the soothsayer named the boy following the merit of this particular boy. And he said, the name of this boy is Deva Ratna. Deva is God, Ratna is preciousness. So Deva Ratna sounds better. Also we can say the preciousness of God. Hlai Rinchen in Tibetan. So if you also know Tibetan, I spoke 3 languages. So I hope you understand. Hlai Rinchen or Deva Ratna or preciousness of God. So we will stop here and we do the practice of Shakya Nedroma. Maya Namkata Yambe Samjen Tamje Lama Sangye Rinpo Jalai Gyabson Sangye Chudan Genda Namlai Gyabson Cho Lama Yedam Kandro Zolai Gyabson Cho Ransam Donzai Chugye Golai Gyabson Cho Maya Namkata Yambe Samjen Tamje Lama Sangye Rinpo Jalai Gyabson Cho Sangye Chudan Genda Namlai Gyabson Cho Lama Yedam Kandro Zolai Gyabson Cho Ransam Donzai Chugye Golai Gyabson Cho Oya Maya Namkata Nyambe Samje Tamje Lama Sangye Rinpo Jalai Gyabson Cho Sangye Chudan Genda Namlai Gyabson Cho Lama Yedam Kandro Zolai Gyabson Cho Ransam Donzai Chugye Golai Gyabson Cho Man be mo 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 man be no man be mo 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 man be Oman be mo man 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 be mo Oman be mo man 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 Oman be mo man 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 be mo Oman be mo man 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 Oman be mo man 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 Oman bemo, 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 oman bemo.